Hello, this is Eric, and as you know, Hollywood ruins everything. In the 1940s, Disney released Fantasia. While it was a critically acclaimed film, having everything needed for a good film and more, it was a financial blow for Disney. Production costs outweighed gross, mostly because World War II had recently started, so Europe was unavailable as a market. And so the next movie was a deliberate attempt to be as economic and simple as possible. You might think that meant Disney making a bad film, but this is Disney in the 1940s. The result was Dumbo. Dumbo is a circus elephant who was born with enormous ears and acts slightly dopey throughout the whole film. He never even speaks once. Despite the other elephants mocking him or shunning him, his mother loves him. However, in protecting him, his mother is locked away. A mouse named Timothy befriends him, and they try to make Dumbo a star in the Circus McGurkus. That doesn't go so well, and Dumbo is inconsolable with his mother locked away and nothing going right. He and the mouse get drunk, something that would never happen in modern Disney films, and they end up in a tree. After getting mocked by crows for thinking Dumbo could fly into the tree, Timothy makes them feel bad about their actions, and the crows help Dumbo with a magic feather that can make him fly. And he soars across the sky. In the next circus act, Dumbo loses the feather, but he didn't need it. He soars around the tent and becomes a star. His mother is released, and they live happily ever after. It's a simple story adapted from a children's book, but even despite money troubles, Disney didn't just make a 10-minute short hitting each story point quickly. They managed to turn it into an hour-long feature film, using every single minute of that to the best of their abilities. The story moves smoothly, not needing to bounce around. While it spends a lot of time on things like the simple act of putting up circus tents or moving from place to place, none of it is wasteful. It uses that time to color our emotions and show and not tell us what the circus is like. Our perception of the circus is a place that's a little dark, more focused on money and cheap novelty than anything else. I don't know if that's an analogy for the working world or what, but it's not a very nice place for a child to grow up in, and that point is made without needing to say it. It uses that time to show us the relationship that Timothy and Dumbo have, rather than throwing them together and declaring them friends. We can see it in the simple way that Dumbo holds onto Timothy's tail, something the movie shows us earlier as an elephant gesture of trust or something similar. It uses the time to entertain us in a way that would not translate to any other medium. It takes its animation and makes a spectacle that no circus could compete with. I mean, after this review, I'm going to see if I can find some sort of remix for Pink Elephants on Parade. That song is just catchy, and the visuals are like something out of Lovecraft's books. And there's a moral about gaining confidence, about learning to find your talents and overcome the challenges that you were born with. It's a good lesson, and one kid should learn, but I believe it to be secondary to the experience. This movie is a conductor for emotions, pulling us through happiness, anger, sorrow, and hilarity without missing a single beat. It doesn't rely on the story and characters to entertain us. It uses the full arsenal that a movie can, using its visuals and music to make sure that we're strung along. And I was completely strung along. This movie is, I realize, somewhat impressive with its animation and sound design done on a budget. But coming from a background of having grown up on impressive Disney animation, I don't really feel impressed. And its story isn't anything to write home about. Some parts don't even make sense, like why they would release Dumbo's supposedly dangerous mother, even if he got famous. But none of that mattered to me. All that mattered was that, for a brief hour or so, I was happy. There were some good laughs and catchy songs, and when Dumbo got down, I wanted him to get back up. When Dumbo flew, I smiled. In some ways, I felt like a little kid again. And I felt happy. So those were my thoughts on Dumbo. If you've not seen this movie, I do recommend it. watch it and just be happy for a while. If you have seen the movie, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice day.